Hi, I'm Shakeen Tawahena, Deputy Editor and Commercial Editor of Mortgage Solutions and Specialist Lending Solutions. In this video debate series, in partnership with Together, we'll explore some of the opportunities to be found in the specialist lending market and how advisors can make the most of these through partnerships across the sector. I'm joined by Nick Parker, Head of Networks and Clubs at Together, Rachel Geddes, Strategic Partnerships Director at Mortgage Advice Bureau, and Andrew Cappaert, Group Head of National Accounts at Brightstar Financial. Thank you all for being part of this discussion. So in this first part, we will cover the trends, opportunities, and challenges in the specialist mortgage market, as well as how networks, packages, and lenders can guide brokers through them. So Rachel, I'll come to you first. What trends would you say are driving demand in the specialist mortgage market?
I think first off, it's the client demographics changed so drastically over the last year to 3 years, and that's where we are seeing a different drive for specialist lending. From a broker's point of view, with client circumstances changing so frequently, they need to look at how they can still support them and help those clients get to their financial dreams at the end of the day. So we have seen that landscape changing and needing to look at options that maybe sit outside the mainstream or high street lenders.
Do you think of what Rachel did just say? Have these trends translated into a rise in broker referrals to packages like Brightstar?
Yes, 100%. We've just posted our best ever Q1. So for a business being around a long time like us, that just shows you the importance of specialist lending. When I speak to clients nowadays, to brokers, and they will say, I only deal with vanilla clients. I say your vanilla now is going to be different from maybe 3 years ago. And I think everything that's gone on over the last few years, it's made the role for an advisor even so more important than it was. And that's where I think us working in relation with our lenders, with our brokers, really does, provide that healthy environment for clients ultimately.
And Nick, thinking of what Rachel and Andrew just mentioned and the shift towards the way the broker is dealing with different kind of clients and what kind of clients they're seeing, in what ways is Together ready to help advisors find solutions for these clients and their changing profiles?
For us at Together, it's probably down to three things: education, facilitation, and accessibility. If we take all of those in isolation, let's talk about facilitation. It's about having a comprehensive range of financial solutions that we can have to meet the needs of lots and lots of different customers and lots of different circumstances that are able to sort of flex to be able to support those needs. Think of Together and specialist lenders a little bit like the SAS of the mortgage lending fraternity. So we're there to improvise, adapt, and overcome whatever those challenges might be, and be able to support the customer, whatever those circumstances are. Whether it be short-term solutions for bridging to be to enable a customer to be able to take advantage of a great opportunity or save a deal from falling through at the last minute, or looking at a customer looking to buy their council house, or even just being given a chance to be able to borrow where other high street lenders don't have the necessary risk profile. We look at education. If we've got the range, it's then on us to be able to help to bring that to life so that we can help bring these different solutions and raise awareness, running masterclasses, providing inspirational examples that lead to those kind of eureka moments for brokers that be able to sort of sit there and go, wow, that I've got a customer on my desk that exactly has that need, or that matches that kind of situation that you've just brought to life for me. And then it's about accessibility, and it's about having the right routes into market and having the right support through a field sales team, through our internal sales team, but also making sure that we're there and visible where brokers are looking. So that means that it's not just about being on product sourcing, it's about being there when they're looking from an affordability aspect or from a criteria aspect. So we're visible already in that sort of criteria and product element. We're working hard to make sure that we can bring our unique approach to affordability to life through sourcing, and watch this space, and hopefully we will to go live on that very, very soon. But also, again, it's about having the right routes to market. We like to think of mortgage brokers almost as like a private banker. They own the relationship with their customer. But sometimes it's not always them that's the right person to be able to take that deal over the line, or to provide that technical support for their customer. Sometimes the right thing to do is bring in an expert from the right to be able to land that and get it over the line and get the right guidance and support around for that customer. They know when to bring somebody in that's got that technical expertise.
And actually, Rachel, thinking a little about what Nick just said about, brokers and even access to this private banking kind of service, are you seeing brokers have more of an interest in completing specialist mortgage cases, and how can you give them that access to these kind of services to help them complete them?
Going back on Andrew's point earlier, this has become the new norm. So although they are maybe specialist cases, this is our new world, and more clients are coming in front of our brokers that need this assistance and need this specialist support. For us, going on to Nick's point, education, education, education. We need to support our brokers within Mortgage Advice Bureau, within MAB, to be able to access these lenders. And we're doing the same things with Nick and with all of our brokers regarding how do we get them in front of these lenders that they maybe haven't used before. How can we work closer together to help more clients? At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. How can we work better for our consumer? So education is a huge point for us. It's one thing we take very, very seriously. And also giving brokers the ability and the confidence to take the time to self-educate, to self-develop. What a client maybe looked like 3 years ago isn't what our clients look like today. And we have to be very open about that and have that conversation, keep having that conversation, because I can guarantee we'll sit on this call in a year's time and our clients will look slightly different again. This is forever evolving.
And Nick, back to you actually. What external factors might impact the levels of specialist mortgage business or the types of finance that borrowers seek? You did mention the different circumstances, but is there a bit more that you can expand on in that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the different sort of scenarios that you come across would either be sort of regulatory, social, or economic in their drivers. For example, we've seen with the growth in Gen Z and the way in which they work and the sort of operation models that they sort of adopt, that we're seeing more and more growth in the gig economy. And what sort of is classified under the gig economy as well. You've got sort of like TikTok and social media influencers and all those kind of roles that probably didn't exist 10, 15, 20 years ago, that are growing in popularity. But actually, most mainstream lenders find it hard to sort of work out how they can support the borrowing needs of these kind of people. You've then sort of like got the everything that happens sort of like post-COVID, or as Rachel likes to refer to it as PC. She doesn't refer to it as post-COVID. I learned that yesterday. But it's so we're currently 5 PC if anybody needs to know that. Um, but if you sort of think about the situation that we found ourselves in now, more and more people throughout that period actually had financial challenges that they'd never come across before. What that period did was actually broke down a number of barriers and stigmas around people that had financial difficulties because so many people experienced them. That has been a significant driver. But people also try to put off some of the impact and the shock that they saw by doing things like buy now, pay later, and all those kind of things, thinking, they'll kick the can down the road because everything will calm down in a year or two and it'll all be back to 0.5% bank base rates. And of course, we know now that isn't the case. We are seeing the new norm, that this is how the market is stabilizing. But it's meant that more and more people have come across adverse credit and those kind of areas, and they all need support.
And Andrew, you will be sitting in the middle of the advisors that are seeing these sort of clients come through, and when they finally get together. So what are the common challenges that you tend to see when it comes to advisors that they face when it comes to these clients, and how does referring to a package like Brightstar resolve this?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because, Rachel mentions education, Nick's mentioned education as well. And it's, education is fine, but, how quickly can we educate people? So I mean, we work across 6 areas here at Brightstar: residential, buy to let, second charges, commercial, bridging, development. Now, it's impossible to be an expert in all those areas. Our consultants stay in lane. That's why they're very good at what they do. What you might think might be something strange come across your desk, they've probably seen it before. So not only do you have to deal all the different ways that those areas are working, but then when you see the lenders and you've got to do the nuances of the criteria, that's a really big thing to learn. You don't have to be the expert in every area, but be the expert at spotting the opportunity and having someone you can call. I'd done my job down very simply to people by saying, if you have to say no to a client, ring me up first of all before you make that call, because I will speak to our guys here, and we very much pride ourselves on a quick no as much as a quick yes. And our job is to make sure that we can manage our brokers' expectations so that they can manage their clients' expectations. You know, we don't like saying no, but I'm pretty much certain if we can't place it and the broker can't place it, then they're in a safe footing to say to the client, I can't help you at that stage. So I think it's really important that when there's difficulties and there's challenges, that actually equals opportunity to grow, because, you know, as human nature is that we will stay in the areas that we like. You know, I'll only do residential, I'll only do buy to let. If you do that, you're going to be struggling. You need to be looking at those opportunities. Why would you not say to somebody, come to you for a residential mortgage who's a business owner or self-employed? Why would you not ask them, you know, do you own or lease your own premises? When's the last time you had a business review? You know, they're the sort of things, and name a number referral to us, we can have a look at that. And that creates a really good service to our brokers' clients, which the biggest challenge we all have is time, whether it be us or whether it be the broker. You know, by passing that over to us, we can actually take that off their desk for a day or so and then say, do you know what? We've actually got options for your client.
Thank you very much. And that is all that we have time for in this section. And thank you all for being with us and for adding to the discussion. And I hope that everyone watching will join us for the next part of the conversation. Bye.